All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Are you looking for a high-quality beach and sand scoop? Are you trying to take your hunting to the extreme? How about an American-based company that stands behind their product and everything they sell? Then check out our friends over at XTREME Scoops. John has been making scoops for some time now and makes a quality beach and sand scoop to take your hunting to the next level. XTREME Scoops recently released their new sand shredder that works great in the water and on the beach. And if you're a new Equinox user, you may want to check out his Surfmaster X3 that can trap those small targets you new Equinox users are finding out there. XTREME Scoop's company approach is let's do it right. So do it right, buy it once, and go to the extreme. XTREMEScoops.com. That's XTREME Scoops.com. Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show. All right, the fine print's out of the way, and it's time to roll with the show. We're back and we're live once again. You are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, metal detecting and treasure hunting radio for all the really cool digging people out there. And as I look into the chat, I see obviously Bill was first through the gate. Imagine that. Ohio Relic Hunter is always on the ball there. We've got Nelson and Paul and some of the others are coming through here, and apparently Bill is paying attention or doing some research or something, because I've already seen him drop in and say, TheHunterGT YouTube channel with the link. Very nice. Way to be on the ball there, Bill. Definitely. That works quite well. Let's see here. So, links in the description. Our friends over at Shooters and Prospectors, Chuck Smalley, the man with the plan, the dealer of choice, our friends at Brute Magnetics, XTREME Scoops, DETECTEES.com, Ken, Mark, Darth, Buddy, and the gang doing a great job with the Beyond Sight and Sound shirts and towels and all of that. The links to our friends at XP Team USA, Facebook group, website, podcast every other Friday. All Metal Militia Facebook group, YouTube channel, River Styx Outdoors, and also the TheHunterGT website, the TheHunterGT YouTube channel, and the TheHunterGT Facebook group. Man, that is a mouthful tonight. Oh, boy. Okay. So I guess we should probably get things moving right along here. It looks like the chat's starting to pick up a little bit. And let me make sure that I've got all of my lines up and running here real quick. There was an update right before the show that tried to throw a wrench in things, but I think we're okay. I think we made it. Good. Good. It looks like the bars look good. Everything's responding properly. Nice. Good to see. So, I'm sure that listeners have been catching the last couple of episodes. We have been mentioning that we're still on the YouTube kick, and we made sure to make the announcement the past couple of shows, actually, that this Wednesday, tonight, right now, we were going to be on with TheHunterGT. So, hopefully, you've all already heard of him. You've checked out the Welcome to Scott. You've checked out the YouTube channel in the past, currently subscribed to him, hopefully. If not, you're going to hear plenty about him tonight during the show. So let's get him in here too. How is it going, the Hunter GT?
What is up, everybody? The Hunter GT here. How are you all? Thank you for being here. Thank you, Josh, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And I am quite looking forward to the next hour and a half or so, or however long we go. And I really appreciate you hosting the show tonight. Absolutely.
Well, nice. We appreciate you taking the time to sit down. I mean, a little bit of time zone difference there with you being out there on the West Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not in Colorado anymore, so I've been out here about a year and a half now, roughly, almost 2 full years. So just about a year and a half, a little bit past that. And yeah, there's days I miss being in a different time zone, and days I love being over here. So yeah, we're about a 2-hour difference, I think, right now. So yeah, it's I know some of you East Coasters are staying up late for this, and I definitely appreciate it over there. Absolutely.
Right. Well, and it did look like things were received well, although I know you had been mentioning it on your live stream and your page, and I had been mentioning it here, and then the post today that went out in quite a few places on Facebook, we'll say. It looked like everything was received well. A lot of people definitely already know the name. For those that may not, though, how did you get involved in, or how did you get into the hobby? What inspired you to get into the hobby? And how did you come up with the Hunter GT?
Absolutely. All right. I'll try to answer both of those. I may not be able to answer all of that. I'll tell you why here in a minute. But yeah, my start in the hobby, actually I haven't been doing this as long as many people think. I actually have only been doing this since 2014, early 2015, technically. And, I dove head first, obviously. But in 2014, I was at work. My left leg kind of got swollen, my calf. Went home, didn't think much of it. And at the time, the wife, she was a nurse, and she said, "Hey, I think you might have a blood clot in your leg." I said, come on. You're crazy. That's for old people. Blood clot, that's for old people. Get out of here. I'm young and healthy. I'm 38 years old at the time. What are you talking about? And yeah, I should have listened to the nurse. And the next morning, it was quite a bit more swollen and painful. I had a bad blood clot, put me in surgery right there. And that opened up the can of worms. There was multiple blood clots, a vein and artery issue I had no idea I had, that I'd been living with since birth. 9 surgeries, 14 stents later, from my heart all the way down both of my legs. I just sat in the hospital watching YouTube videos of I was watching all sorts of crazy stuff at first, racing videos and drag racing and just whatever keeps you entertained, and watching movies. And all of a sudden I came across Ask Jeff Williams. He's a pretty popular YouTube channel. He does gold prospecting.
Yeah, gold prospecting.
Yep. So I came across that, and he was using a metal detector inside of a mine shaft, up and down the walls. And so I said, man, where has this been all my life? Where has gold prospecting been? Where has metal detecting been? So I started getting hooked on I just started watching different channels, Aqua Chigger, Nugget Noggin, all the popular ones out there. I started watching those. I got really hooked. I started joining the forums, asking questions. I picked up a couple mentors on a few forums and PM'd them back and forth, talked on the phone with them, and it just kind of snowballed from there. I got a Garrett Scorpion Gold Stinger as my first detector. Traded my Marlin 22 rifle for it on Craigslist in Colorado. At the time, it was totally legal. Didn't have to sign any paperwork. You just basically traded it straight over. And picked up a couple bounty hunters after that. And yeah, that was my start, basically, was the Garrett Scorpion Gold Stinger, a Bounty Hunter Sharpshooter 2, and a Bounty Hunter Lone Star Pro. And that was my start before I really started doing videos or anything. I had those for about a month or two before I said, okay, maybe I'll start throwing up a video or two just as a hobby, see where it goes. And, here we are today, basically. Yeah. As far as the name, the Hunter GT, I can't tell you just yet. I've told on my live stream, I've told my viewers we're going to be doing a video giveaway or something. We're going to have a guessing game one night on my stream. And if anybody can guess what it means, the full thing, the Hunter and the GT part, they're going to get a nice little prize. So I hate to be a killjoy right now on the podcast, but I can't divulge it just yet because I do have some plans for a nice little giveaway if somebody can track down the right answer. So we'll see.
Well, I know the viewers in the live stream were definitely yucking it up the other night with the Garrett troll.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's it's not what it stands for. It's not what it stands for, Garrett troll. I've given Garrett a hard time here and there. They make great detectors. Let me get that out of the way right now. Wonderful detectors, proven detectors, all that good stuff. But yeah, I was a little rough on them in a few versus videos with the Patriot and the G2 Plus. So yeah, it was quite comical hearing that, the Garrett troll. It's a fitting name. I won't shy away from it, but at the same time, disclaimer, Garrett makes fine detectors, everybody. Okay, don't hate me too much. So
Right. And you've had an opportunity to mess with a few of them along the way.
Oh yeah, the Ace 400, the AT Pro, the AT Max, yeah, all three of their big dogs, basically. Not the ATX. I guess the ATX would be considered their big dog, but not really much of a PI guy, so don't have too much interest in that one. But yeah, I've messed with all three of them. To be honest, I thought the Ace 300 or the Ace 400 was probably my favorite of the bunch, and yeah, it was not a bad detector. I gave it a very good review. I don't know how anybody could watch that review and say it wasn't a positive review. I want to say, even said in the video, it's like a 9 out of 10 for me, or like an 8.5 out of 10. It was just the other two videos that, they were a little trolly. I'll admit it. I like to poke the bear a little bit and see how loud it roars. So no, there's nothing wrong with that, I think. If you get bit, you get bit. It is what it is. So.
Right, yeah. Sometimes, hey, who knows? Maybe by doing that, it kind of pokes and prods them into upping the bar a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I hope, I'm sure somebody, a couple of those videos they're getting close to 50, they're above 50, 60,000 views. So I'm sure somebody passed it along to Garrett saying, hey, check out this versus video, or check out, and it's not like I was attacking Garrett or anything like that. Let's be clear. I wasn't attacking them or anything like that. But yeah, I love Garrett though. They were really good to me. They sent me a free pot for a potentiometer, not free pot, a potentiometer. Let's clear that faux pas up again. So they sent me a free potentiometer, a wiring diagram. They talked me through it to resolder up my Scorpion. They fixed one of my pointers up for me that was out of warranty. So their customer service is just top notch. I'm not here to besmirch any other companies or anything like that. They're all pretty. They all have their pluses and minuses for sure. And yeah, but Garrett troll, that's a good one. That's not what it stands for. We just, for now, it's just the Hunter of Good Times, and that's it. It's the Hunter of Good Times, because that's what I want to have, a good time all the time.
Well, and you can see that in your videos, definitely. You always seem to be pretty upbeat, excited, especially here recently when you found your first Indian.
Oh, goodness, right? How about that? In 1902, the monkey is off of my back. I don't know why it took so long to find that coin. I found coins well older than it, well within the same time frame as it. And, that one being at 3 inches, it's just a slap in the face. It's just a slap in the face at 3 inches saying, here I am the whole time. Everybody else has walked right over me. You could have found me any day, Hunter GT. I was just sitting right here under the surface. And, it was a great feeling, watching all my friends dig 5, 6 of them at a time. A dozen a month is it's pretty heartbreaking, but being West Coast where I am in California, what can you do? Our state pretty much started in 1849 when the gold rush hit. So it wasn't like there was just a massive amount of drops happening out west here compared to all the Civil War, the colonial stuff that's happening east of the Mississippi River, basically. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, when for you to find that in a California park, that had to have been a pretty momentous event, because it's not like you necessarily see things like that pop up every day, like if you were, say, on the East Coast.
I have to pretty much reserve myself to the fact that I'm not ever going to find a large cent. I'm not going to find a ton of buttons out here. I mean, I can find, there's some camps and stuff with some Civil War buttons around here. For sure, other guys have found them, but it's a hard hunt. It's a hard dig to find them. My chances of getting a real from the Spanish coming up and making all their missions through Mexico and up here through California, making all the Spanish missions, my chances of finding that are just about as good as me finding a button out here in certain parts. You'd really have to get up into the hills into one of the mining camps or something like that. And let's be honest, there wasn't a ton of Civil War activity out in California at the time. Yeah, it is what it is. You just got to reserve yourself to the fact that, well, wheat pennies and mercury dimes are going to be top of the game out here in the West Coast. And, but we got the gold nuggets. I got the gold claim stuff that I'm really going to start pushing hard. And that definitely makes up for it. The gold definitely makes up for the lack of relics. And not that there's, a total lack of them, but I want that 1700 stuff. I want that George Washington button. I want that John Adams button, and it's not happening for me, so. Yeah.
Right. You're a little bit, geographically challenged when it comes to that.
Yeah. The RV and truck is coming someday. I tell everybody it's coming someday. I'm going to go visit everybody not every subscriber, but the ones that are always in my live stream, Ambient Girl Relic Hunter, Mark the Berg Hunter, Nick Haas. These are guys that are always in my stream. They're always Cruz Garza. I'm just throwing out names there. These are like guys that have really been there since day one of my live stream, or day one. My administrator, Jeff, he's been there since the beginning with me, rooting me on. And yeah, I want to go visit these people. I don't want to call them fans because that puts me on a pedestal, and I don't like to be there. They're definitely they're friends. They're my equals for sure. So they may say, oh, I'm a fan of yours, but I'm a fan of theirs. I'm a fan right back of theirs for supporting me. I could never do this without all the subscribers, the viewers, the thumbs up, the people that donate during my streams. It's bonkers. The show of support it's really bonkers, and I want to give it back to them some year and just go metal detect with them and say, hey man, let's kick back and, make a video, I'll throw up the video and do a little collaboration here. And yeah, that's what I want the future of the channel to be, is just going out, detecting with subscribers and people that, like the channel basically. And yeah, make a good time of it. Life's too short to be grumpy and upset all the time, So yeah, I try to keep it upbeat. I try to keep a smile on my face. I try to get the crowd laughing, maybe rolling their eyes a little bit here and there, and keep it lively. Why not?
Right. Always mix it up, keep it moving, and I did see. Speaking of keeping it moving, when you were mentioning Ask Jeff Williams. Somebody had posted in the chat and said, yeah, with all the work you've had done on you, I'm sure you wanted to keep moving so you didn't wind up looking like Slim.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if I ever do have to have another big surgery, I'm probably going to have to find a way to get back out to Colorado, because the surgeon that did the work on me, she did 7 of the 9 surgeries, and she was Doctor of the Year in Colorado and Surgeon of the Year. And yeah, she pretty much saved my life. I mean, I had vascular surgeons and everybody telling me, hey, I'm not touching you. I don't even know if you have a functioning artery to your heart right now, and I'm not going to risk my license opening up your chest cavity. And I was like, hey, I don't want that to happen anyways, man. And so, she was finally the one that said, yeah, I got you. I think I can fix you up. And yeah, she put me in a book. I'm actually in a book. So she published my name in a book, and she does seminars about me. It's a pretty rare condition I have, and I don't want to talk about it forever or anything. We're here for metal detecting, but yeah, I got 14 pieces of metal in me because of it. And actually, Goldbug Pro or any detector with a 5-inch coil, a sensitive gold detector, will pick them up. The one in my chest and one of the ones in my groin, it'll actually pick it up if you run the coil over it. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
So you're kind of all the time checking your pinpointer and coil, make sure they're still working. Yep, it's going off.
Make sure it's still there. Every time I sneeze, I go check, make sure I didn't blow a stent or something like that, So yeah, it makes for a good party trick, Hey, bring that detector over here. Check this out, Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anybody with like the titanium screws and stuff like that, they're always saying, hey, let me see that pinpointer.
Yeah, absolutely. I see Scott in chat here. When are we getting together, Hunter GT? Hey, man, send me the invite. I'll be there. If you give me an invite, I'll be there. I see the finds you make. I'll be there.
Right.
Turn me on to one of those spots, right?
He does great with that amphibio.
Holy cow, yeah, he's a great hunter. Him, Darnell, yeah, I mean, they're on good spot. That's why I tell people, a lot of people that watch my channel, it's like, hey, I'm not even the best amphibio hunter. Go watch Darnell. You want to see deep silver? Go watch Darnell. You want to see some great finds? Go watch Scott. Join his Facebook group there, Midwest, and go watch some awesome finds. Because yeah, being in California, sometimes my hands are tied with what I find, and you got to do a clad as rad video every once in a while, because the finds just aren't coming up. They just aren't coming up. So.
Well, and it's not that clad's a bad thing to find. I mean, it helps us afford those coils or pinpointers or headphones, or even get gas in the tank to get to the next hunt.
I've pulled over 1,000 easy in clad. In the 4 years I've been detecting, I've pulled easily 1,000. I don't keep track. I keep a rough estimate. This year, I gotta be close to 300 already, pushing something like that. So, and we're not even done yet. And much of my detecting happens here coming up in September, October, November, December, once it cools off. So, yeah, I mean, how can you turn away $1,000 of just bending down and picking up free change? It's something you'd like to do anyways. I mean, yeah, the goal is silver. Yeah, the goal is a wheat penny, silver, Indian head penny, the keepers, so to speak. But, I come across a coin spill of 4 or 5 modern quarters sitting at 2-3 inches deep. Hey, I got a smile on my face. I have to admit, I have a smile on my face, and it makes me feel good. So why not? And a lot of the new guys that are watching my channel, with the detectors I reviewed, a lot of the intro starting machines from First Texas, I get a lot of questions from beginners, a lot of emails and personal messages from people straight into the hobby. Hey, I saw you did the Gold Digger. I just bought it for $60. Or, hey, I saw you reviewed this First Texas machine for $150, $200. How do I use it? And, these people are really... they like finding clad. They don't, at this point of the game, they don't care about silver and gold rings. They're not at the point where they've been spoiled and they're like, okay, if I don't find a gold ring today, it's considered a bad day. I don't ever want to get like that. I don't want to ever get to the point to where I come home disappointed if I don't find silver or don't find a wheat penny. As long as I can find enough to, make a video and have a good day out, enjoy some fresh air and all that, it's pretty good to me. And I know that sounds cliche and everything, but that's the fact of the matter, really. And it's, as long as I'm out doing it and having fun, clad is rad to me, man. That's my motto. So clad is rad. Why not? Why not?
Exactly. I mean, I'm not gonna. if I'm out hunting somewhere and I run across, say, a quarter signal and it's only 2 inches deep or whatever, I'm not going to turn my nose up at it. I'm not going to snob it and say, oh, well, I'm going to leave that for someone else. I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, it's not the goal. It's not my end game or anything like that. When I go out, I don't have the lofty goal of, gee, I hope I find a 1985 dime today. No, I want an 1885 dime. Everybody does. Obviously, that's the goal. That's the end game that we all want. But, if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to beat myself up and say, oh, metal detecting sucks. It's a wasted day. It's, oh, geez, I should have just stayed home and done something else, because then it's just slowly you're turning yourself off to the hobby. You're just turning yourself into a grump, basically, if you think like that. And,
right, you're becoming
like I said, I'm not
jaded.
shooting for clad, but at the same time, I'm not turning it away. It does bring a smile to my face, for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's nice to see a pile of clad coins at the end of the day, I guess you could say, and at least you accomplished something. Where if you go out and you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna dig a seeded dime today, an Indian, and a gold ring, and you don't find any of them, then you allow yourself to get kind of miserable, so to speak. Where I just, like you were saying, go out, have a good time. I just try to get out, and if I can find at least a coin, I don't even care what it is. At least I didn't get skunked. And, everything else is it's a bonus on top of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very competitive in life, and this is the one thing I don't really want to be competitive in. I just want to go out and relax and have a good time. Like, I don't want to go say, oh, my find's better than yours or your find's better than mine.
Right.
That really turns me off. I mean, detector comparisons, okay, maybe. We can do a little poke the bear for that sort of stuff. But the actual activity of just metal detecting and just being out there doing it, it's like, I don't want any negative aspect to creep into my head because of it. So other than zinc pennies, I really enjoy the hobby up and down. 99% of the hobby is great. 1% zinc pennies, I could absolutely do without. Yeah.
Right.
Make me want to throw my camera sometimes in the water. So
yeah, I would have to agree. I'd be just fine if those things vanished completely.
A worthless coin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And a lot of times they ring up so close to Indians that you wind up digging them anyway, and you're going, oh man, like in your last
ratio.
Yeah, in your last video where you had what was it? I think a washer, and you're like, oh, that was supposed to be an 1860s silver dime. I'm not sure how that happened.
Yep. Hey, you got to have fun with it. You got to have fun with it. So.
Right. Well, and I did see that Ambient Girl was in the house, and she had happened to mention that the TheHunterGT live streams are always fun and quite knowledgeable and informative.
I appreciate that. Yeah, she's a great supporter. I mean, I wish I had 100 Ambient Girls in my chat every night, because she is totally awesome. She never misses a show, really. She might come in late or something like that, but who cares about that? She is literally there. I want to say she's been there for like all 16 of my streams. I count them off. I put number 16, 17, 18, or whatever. I think I'm up to 16 now. Tomorrow night will be 17. And she has been there for just about, if I remember correctly, every single one. She's a fantastic supporter. Honestly, I think I'm probably going to mod her to my group and to my chat room here pretty quick. She deserves it. So I'll probably do that tonight after this. Probably mod her to my chat and to, because I don't want anybody coming in trolling my live stream, posting links to something that they shouldn't. I honestly don't see them in time. I'm so late on my chat. Sometimes I'm 20 minutes late if people get talking. And, she's a good one. That's for sure. She's awesome.
Well, and it's hard to keep up with that stuff sometimes. I mean, first off, I can't even hardly keep up with the chat that goes on when I'm live, but especially when I'm in somebody's YouTube live stream, a lot of times people may send me messages after the live stream like, hey, I said hi to you in so-and-so's live stream. You didn't answer me. You didn't see me? Well, the chats just move so fast, and the text is so small on a smartphone that a lot of times I don't even wind up answering people.
Yeah, and especially something like this where both of us are talking and we're listening back and forth in an interview format like this. It's hard to read chat. It's hard to read and listen at the same time. So, I don't, oh, gee, Josh, what did you just say for a minute? I'm sorry, I was reading chat,
Right,
so,
yeah,
it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal, that's for sure. And I know I miss people in my live stream too. Yeah. Absolutely.
Where it's like, what? Squirrel?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, apologies to everybody that I'm not reading chat tonight. I'm looking at it. I see the words going by, but I'm trying to listen to you and listen to what I have to say here. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm very thankful. All you guys being here listening right now and that show up on the streams and stuff that support this sort of stuff right here. I mean, you guys make it happen. We'd be talking to dead air if it wasn't, to nobody out there. There'd be nobody out there. It'd just be nothing. So it's you guys that make this stuff possible. It really is. And, I don't want to sound too cliche, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason for doing podcasts and live streams and go lives and things of that nature. It's everybody else is interacting and it's just another way to interact with everybody.
They're talking about my name. I am reading that. So if you guys guess it right now, I'll do the giveaway right here. How about that? If you guys can guess what the Hunter GT is, yeah, I'll give you something, and it'll be awesome. It'll be a big boy detector or something like that. That's what I said in my stream. It'll be something awesome like a T2, a G2, an F75, something that I got. It'll be used. It'll be something I have laying around here in a box that I tested and not abused, just used real quick for a review and then put right back in the box or whatever. If you guys can guess it, I'll hook it up.
Well, there you go. Way to fire them up in the chat then. Of course,
Absolutely.
I guess, speaking of chats, we had mentioned a little bit about Darnell and tomorrow and everything. Darnell has been a past guest on the show here as well. Really great guy to talk to. You're going to enjoy yourself. But for those listening that may not know about the live stream, go ahead and let them know where they can find that.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's my live stream times every Monday and Thursday. And that's a tentative schedule, everybody. A tentative schedule. Sometimes I miss them. I'm a single dad with 2 kids, and sometimes things just happen. Life happens. A volleyball game happens or a sports event happens, and the kids definitely take precedent to this as of right now.
Or
it's not quite a job.
Registration happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. School registrations happens at 5 p.m. right when the stream's getting ready to go. So, yeah, this isn't a full-time job just yet. It will be someday, but not just yet. So, yeah, tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, Darnell Hello World Metal Detecting Williams, in my opinion, one of the best amphibio users on the planet. He will be on my live stream doing an interview just like this. And yeah, we're going to talk to him about how he got started, amphibio settings, how he's digging those deep silvers, the tones he's listening for. We're just going to try to pick his brain, and he's just, what a great personality he has a contagious laugh. I mean, he's just a wonderful guy, and I'm super looking forward to it. I'm super looking forward to it.
Right, you can't help but smile when he pulls a piece of silver out of the ground in his videos and starts to laugh.
Oh man, I mean, I'm literally belly laughing in my chair here watching my, I watch most of my videos on my computer, and I know not to watch his on my cell phone because I'll be walking down the store or sitting on a bench somewhere just cracking up, laughing with him, like, I'm screaming out with them, "Hello world," and everybody's looking at me like, "What's this guy doing over here?" Saying, "Hello world" on the bench. This guy's got problems, So, oh yeah, I love his channel. He just makes me crack up. Man, they're throwing out some GT,
I see that.
Ludamil blood test, ground trinkets. Nice try, guys. Greg Thomas, nope. Close, but not close at all. Sorry. Yeah, it stands for good times as of right now, but that's not the true meaning. That's just what I'm the hunter of good times. That's what it'll be until one of you guys gets the correct GT gamma Ludamil blood test. No gammas here. No Hulk gamma rays in my body. So.
Well, like I said, way to fire them up, because they're going to have fun with that.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, tomorrow night, I'm really looking forward to that. So that would be right on my YouTube channel. YouTube.com/TheHunterGT, link down in the description here as well. But yeah, that will be Darnell Hello World Metal Detecting Williams. He will be my first live stream guest, and quite looking forward to it, to see if it's a total win or a complete disaster as my first guest. I don't know. I got everything set up right. I think we're good to go tomorrow, and a little nervous. I'll have, the sweaty hands and all that, but I'm looking forward to it.
I think, seeing your past live streams, I'd say you're going to do just fine. You just got to work that driver issue.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
But I would have to agree with Ambient. The live streams are fun and informative, and it looks like, she says she's looking forward to it, and as long as I'm available, I'm looking forward to it too. That should be a good live stream.
Yep. He's just, we're going to pick each other's brains about amphibios. We did a mic test. It's kind of like the mic test being you did, Josh. They ended up being a half-hour mic test, so we did a mic test last night, actually, and it ended up being, it was a good half hour, 45 minutes. I told him, man, I better let you go, Darnell. We're going to run out of stuff. We're going to be tired of talking to each other by Thursday, man. And, I mean, just what a personality. He knows what he's talking about, too. He's a smart detectorist. When he really starts talking about the settings and the way, he understands what it takes to get those silver. He understands what it takes to get the job done, basically. Yeah, He hasn't been detecting long either. He's about the same boat as me. He actually started watching my channel, which is a great honor to me, a huge honor to me for him to say something like that. Really makes me puff my chest out, to be honest. And he, in such a short amount of time, he has really jumped through the hoops and over the hurdles, and he knows what time it is when it comes to metal detecting. He knows the time, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He's come a long way, and especially down there in Texas. I mean, I'm sure you hear it too from time to time, where people say, "Oh, there's nothing to find around here. It's all hunted out. Everybody's beat me to it," or whatever the excuse is. And when I hear people from Texas tell me that, I'm like, whatever, get out of here. Yeah. Go watch some of Darnell's videos.
Those are the places I want to hunt. I want people to tell me that there's nothing left here, so I can go in and find everything that they left behind. Because I know people do that to me. I'm not the end-all, be-all detectorist. I'm not saying that. People will absolutely go behind me with a different detector or a different coil setup and find something I missed, which is why I try to go hit, these little square sections with every detector I have, with every different coil I have, from every different angle, and then I can say, okay, it's hunted out for me only.
Right.
I can never say it's hunted out because some guy with the way better detector, or even a detector that's way cheaper, just hits that one masked or separated target better. I mean, there's detectors out there that cost $250 that can pass iron tests. The Land Ranger Pro from Bounty Hunter can pass a certain nail test that the Equinox cannot pass. It can pass a nail test that the Amphibio cannot pass. And I love the Amphibio. I think it's a way better detector than the Land Ranger Pro, but there's just certain things that certain detectors with certain coil combinations can hit that others just cannot hit. And that's why there is no best detector. There never will be a best detector. The best detector is the one you learn, the one you become accustomed to, the one you put hundreds of hours in. That is literally the best detector, because almost every detector, I can set up a nail test or a pull tab test or XYZ test to get it to hit a coin where the next detector over cannot do it for whatever reason. It's just a different circuit. It's a different discrimination circuit, a different notch setup. It just handles iron a little bit differently. It separates differently and unmasks just that 1 or 2% different. I mean, the Tracker 4, that's a $90 detector that sells like crazy from Bounty Hunter. That thing's got one of the fastest recovery speeds on the market and a great separator of trash, and you put the right coil on it, it can do amazing things, but it only goes 5-6 inches. 5 inches tops, really. In bad dirt. In good dirt, it only goes 5 inches, 6 inches. So, every detector has its pros and cons, and I don't know. It's a conundrum. I guess. It's what makes it so fun for me. Just seeing so many different detectors, can do so many different things. So yeah, when somebody says, hey, this is hunted out with my $1,200 detector, and, there's no way anybody else can come detect this spot and find anything. Well, go get me an $80 detector and let me go find that silver coin that you just either passed up because of your Z pattern, or passed up because you were having a bad mental day, or passed up because your head wasn't in the game, or passed up because your detector just couldn't hit it in the configuration with that big 15-inch coil you decided to bring today and work around trees instead of a 5-inch coil. So yeah, no place is hunted out because no detectorist has every detector and every coil and has hit every spot of that property. It's just...
Exactly. I honestly, I couldn't have put it better myself. You're absolutely right. And that's what I've told people before on the show too, is there is no end all be all of machines. If there was one perfect machine out there, we'd all be using it.
Yeah, it'd put everybody out of business. Yeah.
Right. You have to find what works for you. Some people just click better with different machines. For some people, they'll swear to the AT Pro. Others, they may swear to the MindLab Equinox or the XP Deus or the Nocta Macro Amphibio. But it's all different perspectives and how they're using that machine. And the only kind of universal constant, I guess you could say, with all of that is when you stop and look back at everyone that is doing very, very well with their machines, like Scott or Darnell or somebody like that. It's because they have spent the time to learn that machine and understand what it's telling them. Nothing beats real in-field experience, and fines are relative to time spent in the field.
Absolutely. And, we all know location. That's number one, obviously. If the goods aren't there, you're never going to find them. But understanding the detector you're using at that location is absolutely 1.2. It's not even number 2. It's like 1A, 1B. Basically, if you don't have a good location, you're never going to succeed. And if you don't understand your detector, you're never going to succeed. If you spent 5 hours with the Tracker 4 and said, oh, geez, some guy said bounty hunters are garbage, and this is only $100 detector, so I need to go buy something for $900 as my first detector, or else I'm just never going to be good at this because that's what everybody's saying on the forums and stuff. Well, and not everybody, I'm just throwing out generalizations here. That guy's going to go buy the Equinox as his first detector. If he already has that attitude, he's probably not even going to read the manual. He's probably just going to go out and turn it on and try to use it. And he's going to get frustrated. He's going to get upset. And yeah, you need to take the time and learn it from top to bottom. You need to, grab stuff out of your house and air test stuff and just go bury stuff in your backyard and test the tones and the signals on different things. Grab your belt buckle, grab a spoon out of the drawer, grab different coins and air test. A lot of guys sit here and say, oh, air tests are worthless. I couldn't disagree more. It is the one thing that is constant across across the world. You can put your detector on a bench and you can listen to the tones by conductivity. You can listen to how it responds as it starts to bleed out of the depth and starts to get scratchy. There's a ton of stuff that you can learn from air testing. It is literally the one constant. Yeah, EMI changes from site to site. Ground conditions change from site to site, but air is pretty much air. I guess unless we're living in downtown Los Angeles, air is pretty much air. And it's, if you're getting the very best, and I'm talking VLFs only, I'm not talking about PI. You shouldn't be air testing a PI, obviously. But for a VLF detector, for a new user, yeah, they should absolutely be watching air test videos and air testing coins and saying, okay, how is it doing? The last thing you want to do is go watch a video where a guy can hit a 14-inch dime and say, oh, well, this is the detector for me. It can hit a 14-inch dime in this guy's dirt, and, well, by gosh, it's going to hit a 14-inch dime in my dirt then, when in most cases, no, it's not going to. That guy has, like, peat moss for dirt over here, and you probably have 4-bar soil that you're not going to get past 6-7 inches with any detector. I mean, when I reviewed the XP Deus, it didn't get a 5-inch nickel in my Colorado dirt. A 5-inch nickel. Does that mean it's a bad detector? Absolutely not. It's a super deep, awesome detector. It just can't handle the bad minerals that are ground balancing up into the 93, 94 range like it was there. So,
right, exactly.
Yeah,
it
I mean,
could be different ground conditions or even how it's set up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just not learning your detector, it doesn't matter what detector you have. It's already the best detector for you. Just learn it. Give yourself a few hundred hours to really put into it, and then move on to the next one. You know,
right? Yeah, because
take that with a grain of salt, because here I am doing all these different reviews. Oh, yeah, I've used this one for 60, 70 hours. Now I can review it. So, but you know, I dive right into these. I really understand them. I get some inside knowledge from the companies that send them to me and stuff like that aren't in the manual sometimes. So, you know, I get a little bit of a head start and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, learn your detectors. Don't worry about what the other guy has. And, you know, if you really learn your detector, you'll notice right away that no site will ever be hunted out. That's the biggest joke anybody could ever tell you right there. Yep. Right.
Yeah. I mean, a buddy of mine I used to hunt with a few years back, he actually used, it was a bounty hunter model. The thing's been wet, it's been rattled around, it's missing knobs and buttons, and I'm thoroughly convinced if that thing would ever completely die, he'd go right back out and buy the exact same model again. He'd look high and low to find it because he knows it that well.
And why not? Why shouldn't he go buy that one again? You know, if your detector, you know, if your AT Pro is pulling out Civil War bells with eagles on them at depth, who cares what the Hunter GT is saying about the Patriot versus the AT Pro at that point? You know what I mean? I mean, who really cares what I have to say about if you're out there killing it with your AT Pro or your $60 bounty hunter or your $2,000 mine lab? Who cares what anybody else says, as long as you're doing what makes you happy and finding the finds? That is literally the speak for itself fact of the matter, and nobody can ever take that away from you. Nobody can ever take that away from you. No words that come out of anybody's mouth can ever take away a good find, a legitimate, awesome, once-in-a-lifetime find. And that detector you find it with is absolutely going to be your new best friend. It's just the nature of the beast. You know, if you know, the new car wins you all the races, hey, you like the new race car. So if the new detector finds you all the new goods, you like that. Well, geez, this must be the greatest thing since sliced bread. How could anybody not like it? I don't care what anybody else says. And that's the way it should be. You shouldn't care what anybody else says. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're swinging as long as it works for you, whether somebody says that that's an inferior machine in their opinion or not.
Yep. Yep.
Because it's working for you. That's like, well, you had mentioned about the forums earlier and things of that nature too, which some of them seem to stay fairly active, yet Facebook has really kind of knocked some of them off of the internet, I guess. But I'm sure you've had to have seen somewhere at some point these posts that pop up. Somebody comes in, newcomer to the hobby. Hey, I'm just getting into the hobby. What machine should I get? And automatically you'll see 15 different responses, 15 different machines, and nobody's even taking the time to ask them, well, where are you from? What's your budget? What sort of hunting are you trying to do? They're just automatically throwing out there what they like, what works for them.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's definitely a knee-jerk reaction. You know, somebody asks you, hey, what's the best detector? And, well, geez, my detector's the best. Or, what's the deepest? Oh, well, I found a coin at 12 inches, so mine must be the deepest. You should go buy this. You should go buy the detector that I have. And you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the first two most important questions are, what type of hunting do you want to do? And what is your, number one, what is your budget? That's the first question, you know, and that's the silliest and most frustrating thing for me is to see a guy in a forum say, my budget is a strict $300. My wife will kill me if I spend 301. Please don't even tell my wife I bought a detector, you know, and
Right.
It's strict $300 budget. What should I get? Oh, you should save up $599 more and get an Equinox. It's like,
Right. Or
somebody
you're not
going
going to find anything.
Somebody
'cause
throw
you can't
punch that guy over there.
Yeah,
you know?
or you're not going to find anything because you can't afford a CTX.
Yeah, exactly. Or yeah, just you don't, or somebody gives a legitimate response of like, well, you only have 300, maybe you should look at the Bounty Hunter lineup, the Pro lineup, like the Land Ranger Pro, or maybe an Ace 300 or 400, you know, somewhere in that range. Or they'll get, hey, you might want to throw a pinpointer in there, get a Eurotech Pro for 200 and then get a $100 pinpointer. You're on your way. You know, legitimate advice that would fit his budget. Oh, don't get a Eurotech Pro. You know, it's not an Equinox, and everybody else uses the Equinox, so you should too. Or you know, go get this $1,000 detector. And it's like, did anybody read this guy's post? You know, no wonder he didn't come back for a second post. No wonder he never followed up in that thread. And I've never really seen a, you know, it's definitely a negative. It's definitely a negative to see that happen. And I'm pretty active in a few different hobbies, and it's pretty brutal sometimes the way some of the veterans act to the new guys. And that is really something that I hope to not do in the future. So you guys out there that watch my channel from the beginning as I go along, slap me in the face if I ever treat a new person like that and just tell them, oh, you just have to buy this detector. Because, I mean, there's so many good choices at $300. What are you telling him to save another $500 for on his first detector? He needs a advanced detector. It's his first detector. Like, what's going on here, guys? Like, where's the logic in this here? And yeah, so it frustrates me. I tend to stay away from some of the forums unless I get a PM. I'll check the brand section and try to answer specific questions of like, hey, how does this coil work? Or how does this work, you know? But I try to stay away from the general questions like, do I need a waterproof detector? Like, well, how the heck would I know if you need a waterproof detector or not, you know? So it's not always the guys answering the questions that frustrate me. Sometimes it's the guys that answer it as well. So absolutely. And I don't want it to be a frustrating hobby, so I just try to stay away from some of that stuff. It's like if they want the Hunter GT's advice, they'll come to me. They're in a public forum. I'll let the rest of the guys handle it, you know, and I don't do the public forum stuff. Like you said, Facebook has really not taken over. You still see it, quite a few guys that are like, I don't do Facebook. Right. I don't do Facebook. And it's like, hey, that's fine, but I do. And that's, you know, I did shut down my forum on my website recently to move to a Facebook group because it's just easier to post pictures. You can post live videos right to it. Everybody's got the app on their phone. It comes stock on just about every phone nowadays. It's integrated into 95% of our lives. It's like the 5% or whatever that are saying, oh, I don't like Facebook. And that's okay. I don't have anything against anybody that doesn't like Facebook. That's fine. But you got to realize the rest of the world likes it. And so I'm going to have my group there, and it's just easier for me compared to forum software that spammers can attack and stuff like that. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Well, and I mean, yeah, I get it. Some people hate Facebook, but you know, you can turn it off. Walk away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm still on YouTube. You can still email me. You can still watch my videos. You can come read my blog on my website. I'm going to be posting a new one tomorrow, actually, a pretty good blog tomorrow. And, you know, there's other ways to contact me and interact with me. It doesn't just have to be Facebook. But, yeah, the forum software was just such a headache on my website. I was getting hit by a ton of spam. It is a WordPress website, which means automatically hackers global love you, you know, automatically. Yeah. So I'm running a script to try to hide that it's WordPress in the background so that the bots can't see it. I'm running 15 different firewalls and spam add-ons, and it's ridiculous, but it's an easy website to build and maintain. Yeah, it's just the forum software that tied into it was just no fun. It sapped the fun out of the website for me. So I said, you know what? That's it. I got to drop it. I'm going to move to Facebook where I can just promote a moderator or two and they can help me out and I can interact right from my phone. Hey, man, nice find. That's awesome. Give them a thumbs up, give them the heart symbol, the smiley face symbol, all that good stuff. And yeah, for what it, because my forum's never going to compete with TreasureNet or Find Mall or anything, and that's never what I wanted. I said from the beginning, I just want a nice little place that we can all hang out and chill out with the Hunter GT, and I can chill out with you guys, show off our finds, talk shop, and just throw our feet up, by the campfire, basically. And it was that, but it was just the software behind it made it just absolutely a nightmare. So yeah, Facebook is the group. The Hunter GT's Hangout is the name, and you can find it. There's a big blue button right on my Hunter GT page. Links are all over my website and stuff like that. So it's easy to find me one way or another. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem at all in that department, so to speak.
Nope.
Nice. Well,
I saw a couple of things down here. They're throwing out some names. I saw a really good one. Let me scroll down. This deserves a prize. What did you call it? Grand treasure out of the ground? Something like that. And I'm trying to scroll down and see it. I don't want to get too sidetracked with the chat here. Yeah, Grand Traveler was Ground Treasure. The Hunter of Ground Treasure. That's a good one, Michael. Michael J. Boyles with that one. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one right there. Maybe I'll switch it up. The Hunter of Ground Treasures. Right? Gas tank? No, Nancy, not gas tank.
Yeah, don't think that one would work so hot. But hey, you never know. You never know. But yeah, sometimes it's it's not necessarily about a large volume of people in a group or a forum. It's more, I guess, quality, not quantity.
Yeah, absolutely. I never wanted to be too big because I am just one guy that does this, basically. So it's just, I have help. Don't get me wrong, I have help. I have my administrators and moderators and stuff. But, these guys all have full-time jobs. They don't want to sit here and fight spam with me and, this sort of stuff. So, yeah, I just want it to be, like the core group of people that follow me. I'm okay with that. I don't need to have, 1 million followers or anything. I mean, someday I hope to have 1 million subscribers, but I don't want them all in my Facebook group. I'll tell you that right now. That would be very frustrating. And at that point, I'd be like, okay, it's too big, and I would probably just step away from that completely. It would get to a point if you get too popular, and I don't want that. Let me tell you that right now. I don't want it to become so big it's a burden. But yes, like you said, quality over quantity. That's definitely a good one, and that's the way it is right now, absolutely, and I like it the way it is right now. We got about 20, 30 hardcore guys that watch the stream, and 15 guys or so in the Facebook group that post regularly. And I mean, we're almost up to 100 people in the group, but only like 15 of them post really regularly, and then the rest of them just kind of sit back and watch. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right.
Maybe they're learning.
Or quality over quantity. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, are one of them that are regularly posting, because I'm not sure, I haven't went and tried to join the group yet, but are one of them that are regularly posting Darnell by chance?
No, I'd have to go look at the list. I think he's in the group somewhere. I'm not sure how active he is in Facebook groups and other stuff like that. If he hasn't, I'll have to send him an invite or something. I'll ask him during the live stream, hey man, I saw you weren't part of my group. What's the deal? You're a guest on my show and you're not even part of the group? Come on, man. But I don't know how active he is on Facebook or anything like that. I mean, I know we message each other and we're friends on Facebook. But yeah, I'll have to look into that. But no, he doesn't post very regularly in my group anyways. Maybe somebody else's group. He might have his favorite groups already set up and everything. And
right.
Facebook can be a monster at times. A lot of people add me to their group or give me
Oh,
requests,
yeah.
and I got to decline a lot of them. And it's not that I don't want to join. It's just I don't have time to. I don't have time to read it all. You know,
Right,
I'm a single
there's
dad
just
with two
too many
kids.
of them out there.
And yeah, it's just, I don't have much time after I'm done editing my video and doing my stuff. It's like, I don't want to go sit down and watch more videos and more YouTube stuff. So, and that sounds terrible. I know that sounds really shallow and really terrible, but it's just the truth, and nothing is better than just saying the truth. So, you know, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I just don't have time to join all these Facebook groups and watch every single video. So that's why I'm so appreciative of the people that do watch my video, because they are putting the time in to watch me. You know, I do make time for Darnell. I make time to watch the people that follow my channel and they're active in my stream. Even some of them are small channels with 200-300 subscribers, 100 subscribers. Well, they are there every week for me watching my stuff. So I'll turn around and watch their stuff back. I don't comment all the time on it or anything, but I definitely give them the thumbs up. I'm definitely a subscriber back to them. To give them that support back, because that's all it takes, you know. Just hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the people out, and I definitely want to give that love back that they're showing me, for sure. Absolutely.
Right. It's just a nice way to reciprocate the support.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I wish there was more hours in the day, days in the week, weeks in the month, and months in the year, you know, for sure. I wish there was just more time so I could just sit back I wish I could sit back in my pajamas for hours at a time. And I mean, that was a big perk of those surgeries. Let me tell you, that was a huge perk of those surgeries. I was kicking back, you know, getting served meals by the nurses, watching video after video. I was, man, this is kind of the life. I could get used to this hospital treatment. You know, the food wasn't terrible at that hospital. And, hey, this isn't so bad. They bring me water when I'm thirsty. They bring me a pain pill if I'm hurting. This isn't too bad, you know? So, yeah, it's, yeah, I don't know. You know, watching these videos, and I'm really thankful for the subscribers and the people that watch. So I definitely try to give it back when I can. But like I said, there's just not enough darn hours in the day sometimes.
I'm sorry. In the chat, someone else just tried to make a guess at GT.
Oh, I see it there. Gosh darn tinfoil, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's a good one, Barb.
I like that.
Hey, gold treasure, Barb. I like that one, Barb. Now you're talking. Now Barb's on the right track. Give me some of that. Give me some of that nickname right there. That means it'll happen. Gold rings. If I find a gold ring on my next hunt, Barb Connell, 100% credit right there. 100% credit, Barb.
There you go. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Michael already said it. Michael gets the credit. He's jumping in. Oh, goodness.
And I guess that's another thing too, with all of the reviews you do, and you try to get out there and hunt when you can and everything. Do you fancy yourself as one type of a hunter compared to another?
Yeah, I absolutely prefer parks and schools. I see an old school, especially an old school, you know, a turn of the century one or something like that that's crumbling down and broken windows and it's just abandoned at this point. Let me have at it. You know, I want that milk money those kids had. I want that change, you know, because a lot of those kids back in the day, that was Dad's special silver coin that he passed on or something, and they kept it in their pocket all day. You know, and to have a silver coin in your pocket as a kid back then or something like that, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. So, yeah, I think that, you know, parks and schools are absolutely my favorite. Prospecting would be number 2. I love hitting the gold field and just trying to find those little zips of those little nuggets. And I have some great footage coming up of that pretty soon that I'll be uploading that'll blow some minds, hopefully. And I don't want to give too much away. And relic hunting would be third. Yeah, I mean, I love relic hunting, but just I like finding coins at the park. I like finding silver rings at the park. And schools. Yeah, parks and schools are definitely number 1. I'm definitely a turf park and school guy first, prospecting second, relic hunting third, and beach hunting would be definitely last place. I don't enjoy it as much people. I have found a gold ring on the beach when I was prototype testing that Fisher pulse induction, the Impulse AQ coming out. I did find a gold ring with that, but it just didn't give me the thrill of, a silver coin or that Indian head penny or even a wheat penny. I would rather, that may sound totally stupid, but I'd rather find a wheat penny at a park than a gold ring at the beach, honestly. It's just not something I would want to do long-term. Beach hunting would kill the hobby for me. I love the fact that people beach hunt. Don't get me wrong. And I have fun when I do it. I do enjoy it. But yeah, find me an old park or an old school, something like that, especially a turn of the century one. That's my bread and butter for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's the environment.
Yeah, just something about, the trees. I got a park bench to go sit down on if I want to. Usually they can be found pretty close to most homes. There's pretty much a old park in just about every city out there, whether you can detect it or not is another thing. But, they just, I don't know why. In Colorado, there was a ton of old parks and schools. Every little farming community would have 3 or 4 old parks and these old schools that have been abandoned from like 1920, 1910, 1890, these turn of the century schools. And yeah, you start digging V nickels and wheats and, silver out of them and buffs and stuff. That does it for me right there. Yeah, I'd rather find that than an eagle button or, a lantern part or an axe head or something like that. And that, for me personally, I could see how some guy, there's probably people rolling their eyes hearing that right there. Like, you gotta be kidding me. You'd rather find a mercury dime or a wheat penny than an eagle button? Yeah, I would. Personally, for me, absolutely. So, it is what it is.
Right. We're picking up a little bit of EMI or something here for some reason.
Oh, am I breaking up there? I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't touched anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. It almost sounds like a dirty connection or something.
I'm not hearing anything. You sound good still.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hope it's not on my... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
We got some more guesses. God's treasure, garbage treasure. Man, look at these guesses down here. Hunter, are you a member, or would you consider joining AMRA? No, I'm not a member. Yes, I would consider it. I do plan on it. I am a GPAA member. I do plan on joining the AMRA as well. One of the upper management guys goes to church with my mom, actually. So she sent me his card. She's like, hey, one of the guys that goes to my church is an AMRA, like upper management type guy. He wanted to give you my card. And I was like, oh, awesome. So, yeah, I will be joining AMRA. Every gold claim that I can get on, I will absolutely do that. I definitely want to not shift the channel totally that way. I still want to hit the parks and schools, but I really want to start showing off gold prospecting more and more. It really interests me. The sluice boxes, the panning, metal detecting for nuggets, hard rock mining down in a mine. It really interests me, and I'm really going to be pushing it moving forward slowly but surely. Absolutely.
Well, and the gold rings are nice to find in the parks or on the beach or whatever, but I'm sure that pales in comparison to recovering a gold nugget.
It does for the feeling, yes. These beach guys, they can actually pull quite a bit. You can pull quite a few ounces off the beach in gold, quite a bit more than you can a day of prospecting with a metal detector. For metal detecting only, beach hunting, you're going to get way more gold than unless you just find a huge, big, nugget, once in a lifetime nugget. But yeah, the thrill of it though, even just a tiny little picker to me, that's more enjoyable than a big fat gold ring. I realize in my head, okay, the gold ring is more money. It's more gold. It's going to sell for more or whatever if you want to sell it. But to me, yeah, finding those nuggets in their natural environment like that, knowing that they've been there for, billions of years or millions of years getting pounded and beat up like that and formed into that specific shape, that really does it for me. I really, really enjoy that. Yeah.
Right. Each piece is so unique. So if you would happen to, I don't know, say like, next weekend, you get up and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna head into gold country. I'm gonna do some electronic prospecting today. What would be your gear that you'd take along with you?
Well, as of right now, I would probably take, first thing I'm taking is a pickaxe, a small little 2-foot long pickaxe, just a little mini type one that you can pound into the rock. A rock hammer's coming with me right away. Any handheld pinpointer is really going to pretty much work good enough. And if on the really, really small stuff, I'm just running the scoop over my coil. So a plastic scoop, not a metal scoop, a plastic scoop. You're digging with your pickaxe, and then you're using the plastic scoop to run across your coil. Because some nuggets, some of the small stuff are not going to hit on a pinpointer, a handheld pinpointer. So something to keep in mind. But I take one on my hip anyways. As of right now, it's, the Amphibio is actually very sensitive to small gold. I actually started to shoot the 7-inch concentric coil review today. I went out, I was going to upload it tonight, actually, this afternoon at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I was going to hit upload, but it's going to have to hold off till next week, I guess, or over the weekend. I couldn't find a couple of my nails that I do my nail testing with. They're gone. I couldn't find a nail anywhere in the house for my nail test. So I was like, well, crap, I'm not going to get this video done today. But anyways, right now, the Amphibio up at 20 kilohertz in the 20 kilohertz mode that it has, it is quite sensitive. With that concentric 7-inch coil, I'm hitting a BB, an air gun BB out to about 6 inches on it. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And even the big 11-inch DD coil, I can hit that BB, just about that far as well. It's not quite as sensitive once I get smaller as that smaller coil. But yeah, it would be the Amphibio right now. I'm really, just because I'm interested to see how it does work. It's got that self-adjusting threshold, intelligent self-adjusting threshold on it. It has a good tracking system on it that I want to play with at the gold claim, just to see how they work. Manual ground balance is pretty nice, don't get me wrong, but I think that tracking and this ISAT technology that Nocta Macro is coming out is really great at a gold claim. And I've seen a couple other guys that use the, like the Gold Racer and the Gold Cruiser that have it too, that used it. He was a big fan of it, and he is a mentor of mine. So I can't remember his TreasureNet name. I was going to throw out his name on TreasureNet. I can't remember his name, but he's one of the better California hunters for nuggets, and he is a big-time Nocta Macro guy. He'll use anything, though. He'll use a Mind Lab, a Fisher. I still have my G2 Plus, which is basically a Gold Bug Pro, at 19 kilohertz with the 5-inch coil. That's always in the trunk with me. No matter where I go, that's always coming with me. But yeah, right now, I'm pretty tied in with the Nocta Macro stuff. They've been treating me nice lately, and I really want to, check out their stuff. I asked her, I'm really into gold prospecting, D-Luck. If you want to send me that Gold Cruiser or even that AU Gold Finder that you have, I'd really be interested. I'd love to do the review on it. So fingers crossed that she sends me something like that. I'd really like to take that up to the claim and run it through the paces and do a proper review of it. But yeah, as of right now, the 2 machines that would go with me would be the Amphibio, because it is 20 kilohertz, and then the 19 kilohertz, the G2 Plus. I would run that as well with the 5-inch coil on that one, and then probably the 7-inch concentric on the Amphibio. I only have the 7-inch and the 11-inch DD as of right now, so I am going to be getting some of the 5 sniper and then the 5x10, or it's like a 9.5 by 5 or whatever it is, the dimension, but it's a 5x10 basically. So I'll be getting that one as well. And yeah, I think it's going to make for a good gold prospecting machine, because the threshold's really good on it at lower gain, and I like to run low gain when I'm prospecting. Like 20-30 is as high as I go on my sensitivity, especially at a gold field. 20-30 is as high as I go on my sensitivity, and I want that real smooth threshold. And the Amphibio, when you're away from EMI, it does give you a really, really good threshold. G2 Plus does that as well. So yeah, those would be the two coming with me right now. Yep.
Yes, it does. And I'll tell you, with the Amphibio, that was one of the refreshing things to see when the Amphibio come out, was the fact that they had such a wide range of accessory coils. But not only that, they were, incorporating the concentric coils, which you don't really see a whole lot of anymore.
No, you don't. And I'm glad that everybody should have one. Everybody should have a concentric and a DD. If you're in a bottle cap area or heavy aluminum trash, or even in nails, a concentric's going to ID way better than a DD. A DD is going to separate, not way better, but it's going to separate better than a concentric, and it's going to get different plane trash. So what I mean by different plane is where the trash and treasure are sitting an inch or two above each other, right? A concentric coil is going to do better when it's same plane trash, where the trash and the treasure are all pretty much spread evenly across the area. A concentric coil is going to kill it in that test. I know a lot of people seem to think, oh, well, a concentric will unmask better or do better when targets. That is untrue in my testing. If you want to go, anybody wants to go check out a video on my channel, just type in the long nail test and then elevated nail test. Just type it on my channel, go to my channel page, and in the search bar type in nail test. And those two videos will come up with, and I ran the concentric and the DDs through the paces, and it was night and day difference. A concentric coil is going to do better on same plane trash, DD coil on different level trash. And just switching them over on the same machine is really a night and day difference. So the fact that it does accept both coils, the Amphibio, the Cruiser, the fact that you can swap them back and forth like that, and they have different sizes. Like you said, I mean, they're really, I think Nocta Macro said, hey, we don't want any of the third-party guys like Nell and Coors playing with us. We got it covered, baby. We got it covered right here in-house. You need a size, we basically have it for you. You need a concentric, we have it for you. You need a DD, we already have it for you. They're lightweight already. They're built like tanks already. We're throwing in the free coil cover already. So, if there's one company that really listens to customers, Nocta Macro's it. They're going to listen to you. They're going to pump out concentrics and DDs in multiple sizes and multiple options. They don't skimp. That's for sure. They do not skimp with their coil selection. Absolutely.
No, not at all. And I would say, I mean, I know you've got quite a fair amount of experience with the Amphibio, and with that 7-inch concentric, or the 11-inch double D, it doesn't seem to matter. That thing will hit hard. It sniffs them out somehow, whatever. Coins on edge.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I've dug plenty of them on edge. I don't dig my coins live. I usually I hit record after I'm done. I press the stop button after I show the audio, and then I just dig the coin out. I don't wear a GoPro on my hat or anything like that. I'm hand holding my camera, and then I put it in my pocket when I'm done. So, yeah, I don't set up a tripod. I want detecting to be fun, so I'm not going to sit here with a whole tripod and show every dig live, but a lot of these coins coming out are on edge, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, that... I don't think I would have hit that with some of my other detectors. There's no way I would have hit that with my other detector, or, even an Equinox pre-firmware update. It was having a big time struggle with coins on edge. A lot of guys were just really frustrated, and they're still having issues with it after the firmware update. Some guys are saying, hey, it didn't help much, So yeah, a coin on edge, many detectors do not like that. And the Nocta Macro machines, for some reason, with either coil, they have no issues with it, or at a 45-degree angle or whatever. It calls it as a dime. It calls it as a quarter, which is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, very surprising. I was quite surprised myself about that, was the amount of on-edge coins that machine can find in an area, and you're going... This is a little mystifying. How is this happening?
Yep. And, the shallow performance of it, too, is really amazing. Like this park that I hunt, in the beginning of some of my videos, I'll throw a little intro bit in before the intro. Like in this last one, I said, "Oh, listen to this trash." I was in 99 tone mode. I was waving the coil, and you can just hear different tones from aluminum to iron to high conductors, low conductors, mid conductors going off. And I said, "Oh boy, this should be fun." And it is fun because that's where I like to hunt. I want the trashiest, worst spot I can think of. And I'm going to be wrong. I want to go hit a wide open field in the UK and go hit a Roman coin that doesn't have a piece of trash within 10 miles of it. That sounds fun too. But this trashy park I'm hunting, a lot of these coins are so shallow that I'm hitting, and I know for a fact I have hunted over the same spot. Other detectorists has hunted over the same spot. So there's a guy with an AT Pro, there's a guy with an E-Track, there's a guy with a Gold Bug, there's a couple Equinox users, there's a guy with the whites, and there's a couple other guys that I don't know what they use because we haven't introduced each other yet. I see them. It's a big park. Like I said, it's like a mile by a mile wide, this park. It's got a huge zoo in the middle of it. The shallow finds here are just so amazing because I'm in a drought state. It's one of the worst drought states in the nation next to Arizona, I guess. And it rains maybe 2 weeks out of the year for me, and the rest is just baked earth. And so the shallow performance to me, the separation, the unmasking capabilities, the recovery speed, that's so much more important than depth for me. I mean, obviously the Amphibio is a super deep performer. There's versus videos online where it's right up against the Equinox, hitting targets that the Equinox is fading out on. So super deep detector. And the Equinox is a super deep detector as well. So obviously the depth of this is there, but what really interests me is that recovery speed, especially in 3-tone mode where you bump it down to 89 gain or lower. Just the capability to, and even with that big 11-inch DD coil, who would have thought an 11-inch DD coil could separate like that? And it's really mind-boggling at times, some of the shallow finds I'm pulling that have something right next to it. I mean, I'm talking I can see it's touching a pull tab basically right next to it, and I'm still getting that perfect dime signal or whatever. None of my other detectors are doing that, and I'm sitting here thinking, I know just last week I was right here with my other detector hunting with a buddy. We hit the spot at least, I've hit this spot 2-3 times. I know my coil has gone over this spot. How is that V-nickel or that buff just sitting there at 3 inches? How did I miss it? I don't do Z patterns. I overlap like crazy. How could I possibly have missed it? And the other conclusion I can come to is that it's just the detector. And this is, and this is where we get back to, okay, yes, there are detectors that are quote unquote better at doing certain things.
Right.
And this is where the Amphibio comes in. Yeah, it may be beat out in depth here and there. It may be beat out by, it doesn't have GPS like the CTX. It doesn't have a color screen like the V3i and the ZTX. It doesn't do this and that. It's not a pulse induction, so it can't do this. Or, whatever. I get it. But as far as I'm concerned, on the shallow separation targets like that, it's mind-blowing, the stuff that I'm pulling out of this park that I know we've gone over at 3-4 inches, and we're not even hitting at 3-4 inches. And why is that? Well, it's not because we're missing it. It's because the detector's just not picking it up because of separation issue, a masking issue, same plain trash. You just don't have the right coil on it. Switch over to the concentric, and all of a sudden it's a whole new ball game, and I'm using the same detector, so.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I can say about it for sure.
Get multiple coils. Multiple coils.
Yeah, and they're not all that expensive. I mean, that's one thing I can say for sure, though, because some people, some of the machines I've messed with, I guess, Amphibio included, some people are like, oh, what are you doing messing with that thing? I thought you were looking for this or looking for that. But sometimes it's not so much a game of depth as it is a game of separation.
Yes, absolutely. I want it to be a deep detector for the days I'm in a spot where there's not a lot of trash. I want it to be able to go deep. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and it will.
But Yeah, oh, and it will, but I want it to do everything. I want it to check all the boxes. In a perfect world, we want everything checked. We want every box checked,
Right,
and the
right.
Amphibio checks a lot of the boxes. Let's be honest, it checks a lot of the boxes. Sure, it's not simultaneous multi-frequency, but it is selectable. It does have a nice threshold. It's very sensitive to gold. It's very sensitive to silver at the 5 kilohertz, very sensitive to deep silver. It's got a great ID at depth on it. It doesn't false on deep iron like many other detectors I know of do. It can handle round washers at depth with a concentric coil on it. Yeah, it checks a lot of boxes. The adjustable tones from the iron grunt to the high-pitched squeal to the nice modulated audio in two-tone mode. And it's modulated across the board, but that two-tone mode, oh boy, the modulation in that and the VCO tone that it gives you that's adjustable is just so smooth. Yeah, for me personally, it just checks off a lot of boxes. It really checks off quite a few. It's one of the best detectors I've ever used. It's a home run for me. I like the tones. I like that it spits and pops and burps and farts right back in my face if I turn it back up to 99. I like that it doesn't leave me guessing if there's more. If I turn it up to 99, I know I'm maxed out with the Amphibio. It doesn't leave me guessing, well, gee, it feels like I can go up to 109 or 119 on the gain, not with the Amphibio. It lets you know by 80, 85, hey, you're pushing into internal circuit noise now. You're pushing into, see that tower way over there? I'm going to pick up that EMI because I'm such a hot lightning rod of a machine. I like that.
It is a high gain machine. So, it definitely is. And
for sure.
Like you had mentioned about being in 99 tone and waving your coil over and letting that audio come across the camera. A lot of people, I think, don't realize how much of an asset that separation can be sometimes in those areas, because when you're waving your coil over it like that and you've got machine gun fire of targets under your coil and you're still hearing that coin or that desirable target.
I mean, what do you need depth in those spots for anyways? You're not getting, no detector, not even the Amphibio, as great as it is, no detector can handle true unmasking. That is the biggest step that detecting must overcome. True masking of a target completely covering another target. No detector I know of. Well, I can't say no detector. There's one that I've prototype tested that is better than anything I've ever seen at it. But that's a different story. And there is no detector on the market right now, that can truly unmask a target. There's not. It will struggle. It will get, you may get a clip tone here and there. You may get a little squeak of a tone that you need to investigate, so to speak. But you put a bottle cap right on top of a dime, a nail right on top of a dime, and put that dime under 3-4 inches, 5 inches down, you'll never hit it. You put an office staple. Go get an office staple out of a stapler and put it on top of a quarter, a silver quarter, and bury that quarter at 6 inches. You're probably never even going to hear that quarter from that office staple. So, and that's true masking right there. That's not separation. If the staple was over just a quarter inch and the coin, you could see the coin if you were standing over it and dirt was like glass where you could see through it, that's not masking. That's just different level separation at that point. A true masking scenario, no detector can do that. No detector can do that. It's definitely the biggest hurdle for silent EMI, and unmasking are definitely the two biggest hurdles that detecting as a hobby needs to overcome. And I wish the engineers good luck, because I don't know if it's physics or if it's even possible. It's like maybe trying to tell aluminum from gold. I don't know if they can actually do it with the technology that's out right now. True masking, I don't know if it's possible at this point. There is, like I said, one prototype I've tested that does good at it, but even then it's not a true masking scenario. It will be crippled if you put something directly over it at depth. So I'm babbling here a little bit. I'm coming back to my point. The point that we're talking about here, Josh, is that depth is not everything. It's just it should literally be the last on your list in most places, like a park or a school or something. It's literally last on my list. I want to have the depth there, sure. I mean, do I want a 5-inch detector? No, because I know eventually there's going to be a wide open spot where there's going to be a 7, 8, 9-inch coin that I'm going to dig out. But
exactly, the concentration of trash thins out.
Yeah, it's the last thing on my list. I watch these videos of these guys like, oh, can it hit this 12-inch coin in my dirt? If it can't, it's not a buy for me. Like, really? It's not a buy for you if it can't hit a coin at a foot deep? Are you serious right now? Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? And yeah, so, I mean, to each their own. If they're digging in peat moss like that and they can go hit that 12-inch coin, I can't. I mean, my dirt ground balance is at 93, 94 in some spots, and hitting a 4-inch coin is an ID nightmare on most machines. It's just bouncing all over the place, a 4-inch coin. So, right. Yeah, depth to me, mineralization handling, separation, unmasking capabilities, having the capability to accept concentric and DD coils. That's a huge home run as far as I'm concerned, a huge home run. And, right now the Amphibio's up to bat for me, and I don't see it stepping out of the batter's box anytime soon. Yeah, that's for sure.
Right,
I'm really enjoying it, and yeah.
That's the great thing that we're seeing, though, this technological race. You're seeing XP, Mine Lab with the Equinox, Nocta Macro with the Amphibio and the Simplex. We all win out there in the field.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Being sponsored, I do play the brand loyalty game a little bit with my videos and all that, and I never apologize for that. I'm always totally upfront. Hey, I am sponsored by Nocta Macro. That's what you're going to see coming up in my videos. If you don't like it, well, the Mine Lab guys are over there. The Fisher guys are over there still. These guys, the Garrett guys, they have their channels. I'm promoting Nocta Macro right now. They do sponsor me. I love it. I'm thankful for their sponsorship. I do not apologize for it. I get to try out these detectors. I get to review them for you guys that are potential buyers. I get to be part of the hobby. I get to prototype test some of them and take your guys' advice and pass them on to the engineering team and stuff like that. That's a huge privilege for me. I'm so thankful and grateful for it. I mean, I can never say thank you enough to the people that make it happen. And right now, yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's a good time to be in the hobby. It's a great time to be in the hobby. I wish a couple of the other companies would step it up. Let's get going. I don't want to see anybody take the road like Tesoro did. Definitely sad to see them go. A terrible thing. I do think there's room for analog detectors like that, but at the same time, maybe there's not, or else they wouldn't have folded. So it's kind of a conundrum. You hear everybody, oh, Tesoro's so good, and they were so great, and they were great, but it's everybody's wanting this new digital stuff, and they're pumping out these Amphibios and these Equinoxes and this stuff, and it's pretty much a what have you done for me lately hobby. If these companies don't put something out soon, it's, hey, what have you done for me lately? I'm not buying an Equinox. I'm not buying an Amphibio because I'm waiting on you to put something out. Well, that's been a 2-3 year wait already. I'm sorry, I can't wait anymore. I want to go play with the new toys that all the other kids are playing with in the sand lot. Nobody wants to be the kid left out without the cool toys, So, yeah, I think you're seeing it with the sales. I think you're seeing it with, watching prices drop from a lot of the other companies. And, here comes the Simplex at $250 and $300 basically for the wireless model and the non-wireless. And it's waterproof, and it's got a salt filter. It's got a beach mode on it. It's got all these settings, a backlight. It comes with the 11-inch DD like the Amphibio uses. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, they're coming out with stuff like this now. What a great time to be in the hobby. And everybody else better wake up. You better wake up. Mine Lab coming out with the Equinox and now the Vanquish. And I see people talking about how, oh, gee, I just bought my Racer 1 and now the Racer 2's out. I just bought my Racer 2 and now the Impact's out. I just bought my Impact and now the Cruiser. I just bought a Cruiser and now it's the Amphibio. I don't want them to apologize for that. What are they supposed to do? Sit on their hands? Sit on tech?
Right.
If it can't be upgraded via the USB port, I don't want them to sit on it. If it can be upgraded via firmware, do it. Do it, please.
Right. Get it out there.
But if it can't, get it out there in a new detector then. Even if it's just some new feature with a tone option or a new tracking option with the ground balance or something. Don't sit on your hands like some of these companies are doing and saying, no, we're going to wait until it's just this big bomb that we want to release and we're going to leapfrog the competition. Well, they're not playing the leapfrog game. They're slowly ticking away by just releasing detector after detector. And it's like a little ice pick that they have that they're just slowly chipping away at the ice. And these other guys are waiting for like the full iceberg to fall off or something. And these other companies aren't waiting. They're putting out detectors left and right, and they're saying, and we have more stuff on the way. The simplex is coming, the multi-frequencies on the way. They have that Invenio out there with a laptop-like thing that's doing the 3D
Right.
imaging, like ground-penetrating radar. Imagine, they have to be getting that into a tablet size or a cell phone size screen, and they're working on that sort of stuff. So, yeah, the future is just so bright, and especially with Nocta Macro that, why not? Why not? So I'm super happy with the Amphibia. I'm super happy with the way the company's headed. The Nomad team, they're picking some really great
Yes,
people
they
to be on
are.
the team. And yeah, so they're very passionate. When you talk to Delek, she's just so passionate about the hobby. It's a fun phone call. I mean, she's in my face. She's like telling me, hey, Hunter, if you don't like this
but to get
detector,
excited.
never call me again. Yeah, she's like, if you don't like it, that's your problem, Hunter GT. We know we're right. We know we make great detectors. If you don't like it, you're wrong. Peace out. Don't use our detector then. You'll be the fool, not us. And when she told me that, I laughed in her face. I laughed on the phone. I was like, wow, you're really full of yourself, aren't you? And she was like, hey, I know exactly what we can do here at Nocta Macro. I know what we have coming out. You're crazy if you don't want to be a part of it. And I was like, all right, I'll call your bluff then. Let's do this. Let's see who has the better poker hand here. And she put her money where her mouth is. She sent me the Amphibio. Ended up being a great detector. I love it. Can't say enough good things about it. So, yeah, and then, our next conversation, she was like, hey, do you want to be part of the Nomad team? Do you want maybe get some more stuff, maybe run a booth here and there, which I would love to do? And said, hey, why not? Why not? And yeah, I'm pretty thrilled with it. I'm in a good place. I'm happy where I'm at right now. And like you said, the hobby's in a really good place because of the people like Nocta Macro, Mind Lab that are pushing out these new detectors like this. And, Nocta Macro, she told me, she said, we're not in it for these versus videos that you like to do. We're not in it to besmirch any other companies. We're not in it to
Right.
put them down. We love their products. We love their products. We want to beat them fair and square.
And they
We're not
love
gonna
the
talk smack
competition.
about them. They do. They are very competitive based. They love the competition. She did tell me straight up. She said, I know you can be a little argumentative, Hunter. I've seen some of your forum posts. I've seen your videos. You can be a little argumentative. And I said, yeah, I can. She said, I got to be honest. We're not into that. Really tone it down. So, I will. I'll tone it down a little bit, but the excitement, I can't hide that. The excitement, I can't hide that. They make great detectors. They got good stuff coming out, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what the future holds, not only from them, but from the other companies, because, I'm a competitive guy too. And I want to go out there and say, hey, this detector I'm using right now is one of the best. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I've been in the game long enough. I think I can say that. And, here we are talking about how new people should not be saying that, and here I am saying it. So grain of salt with everything I say. Like, maybe the whole salt mine. So.
Right. Well, I tell you what, though, this has been it's been very refreshing and a lot of fun just to sit down and talk shop and talk about the machines and the performance of it and all of that with you. You have come a long way in your time in the hobby and have had a lot of different experience on many different machines. And it's great for conversation. It really is.
Yep, and I appreciate it. Like I said, I couldn't be here without, guys like you putting me on their podcast, Josh. I really appreciate it. I can't ever thank you enough, man. I mean, I really can't. I can't thank Ambient Girl, Cruz Garza down there, Ohio Relic Hunter, some of these people that are in my channel and on my stream, and it's just so bonkers. I feel truly blessed. I really feel truly blessed to be sponsored, to have almost 6,000 subscribers I'm creeping up on now, to
That's right.
be in a place that I can teach others. I love teaching. I love making these videos of saying, hey guys, here's how this coil works. Let's check out the nail test. Let's look at air testing. Let's, the Detecting 101 videos I've been trying to pump out. I've been trying to get them out every weekly. It just hasn't been happening. Summertime's really busy for me, so I've been missing more videos than I want to. I definitely apologize for that to my loyal fans. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I'm really blessed. I'm really happy. I love this hobby. It's exactly what I want to do with my life, and where has it been all my life? And yeah, I mean, I love this stuff. I love to talk about it, love to babble about it, and I could do it all day. I could do it all day.
So I'm guessing that probably your biggest regret is you didn't get started sooner.
Absolutely. My grandfather used to metal detect. He's passed away, unfortunately, but my mom and me are going to go hunt the park. So it'll be her father's park, and he had a bounty hunter back in the day, back when I was just a wee little tyke. And yeah, we're going to go hunt the park that my grandfather hunted, and it's an old park, so I may hit some silver or some wheat pennies at the very least, stuff like that, and fingers crossed. So that's coming up here within a couple months, I think, and that should be a real fun time, So be a special video right there. So,
awesome.
Yeah, but
and
absolutely
even getting in some time hunting with Darnell, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Soon.
I absolutely plan on making a trip down to Texas just to collaborate with him, him being part of the Nomad team as well. I'd maybe like to go visit Scott there. I'm not going to mention anybody else in Nomad. I know one of the other users want to say it themselves, so I'm not going to spoil it for them. But yeah, right. I do want to go hunt with the other Nomad members, and do the whole knock the macro thing and make the collaboration. And I mean, I want to go hunt with everybody. I'm going to go hunt with Nancy one day. I'm going to go hunt with Cruz. I'm going to go hunt with all of my the loyal guys that are in there following me before I push up those daisies. I am going to be metal detecting with each and every one of them if I have my say. I'm going to hit all 50 states. I'm going to metal detect in all 50 states. And yeah, I just want to, oh man, I have so much passion and so much I want to do in this hobby still. Like this is just the beginning for me. This is just the small tip of the iceberg for me. The plans I have for my channel, for the live streams, I want to buy a truck and an RV and get going and go, it's going to be a traveling, metal detecting, treasure hunting. I want to go interview the curators and go through museums and do interviews with people that just know more than me. I want to pick their brain. I want to show them off to all the new people out there, and I love learning. And what's the point of having knowledge if you're not sharing it? What's the point of dying with a bunch of knowledge in your brain if you're not sharing it with other people? So I'm really thankful and appreciative, and people like you, Josh, make it happen. And I thank you for the time and everything tonight, for sure, man. Absolutely.
All right. Well, any parting words where people can find you or anything like that before we go? And obviously take the opportunity once again to mention the live stream tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Tomorrow night, everything, my whole social media is TheHunterGT. So it's just usually / TheHunterGT. If you go on Facebook, it's / TheHunterGT. Instagram, TheHunterGT. My website, TheHunterGT.com. So yeah, it's all TheHunterGT. Just go on my website there, TheHunterGT.com. All my social links, my blog is on there. Pretty much my whole life's on there. Feel free to join the Facebook group. You guys are more than welcome to email me 24/7. I try to respond to every single comment, every single email. TheHunterGT@gmail. You guys know it's all TheHunterGT. Just / TheHunterGT. You'll find me. And yeah, Darnell coming up tomorrow night. Darnell Hello World Metal Detecting Williams on the stream, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss that one. And yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you again to you, Josh. And get out there, go metal detect. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you have the tick spray, and go find some stuff and be happy. It doesn't matter what detector you're using, guys. Be happy with what you have and just be thankful. Just be thankful. Pay it forward if you can, all that good cliche stuff.
Nice. Well, it has definitely been a pleasure. Hang in there with me for a couple of minutes and we'll get on out of here. So for everyone else, if you haven't checked out the Hunter GT, you heard it right from the Hunter GT. The Hunter GT, just Google it. Google can be your friend and you'll find him everywhere. And then hopefully after you've checked out his channel and subscribed and watched some videos, you're going to get out there and find some stuff too. So, until the next time, we're going to roll on out of here, but if you enjoyed the show, throw us a like. You can follow us on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeart, the Ohio Metal Detecting Channel, the Beyond Sight and Sound page, Metal Detecting Beyond Sight and Sound group, Ohio Relic Hunters, XP Team USA, Dirt Pirates Detecting, and many of the other wonderful Facebook groups out there. Until the next time, folks, we're going to roll. Have a wonderful evening.